one night a year where the whole card is supposed to be extreme. We finally got that here tonight here at Extreme Rules, right here live in my hometown of Philadelphia. How did it go? And we about to talk about that right here for your Extreme Rules review. I am Mr. A&D here, and we are about to talk. We're about to give you my thoughts and reviews of Extreme Rules. Before I go into it, I want to explain a little bit why this review is a little bit late, because first of all, like I said, I'm still not used to the Saturday pay-per-views and trying to get my schedule to get there and watch them. So like I go on the weekends, I'm very busy, especially trying to get like family time in, just for my mental. Other people can understand that, and I understand that since YouTube is not my job, you know what I'm saying, it's something I do right now, and then, I don't get paid enough to do YouTube to support my family. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I'm doing on the weekends. But it was my son's birthday on Wednesday that we celebrated on Saturday, but then it got changed till Sunday. But then what I did not understand is because I tried out a sleep study, because I wanted to make sure I wanted to check my health for sleep apnea and stuff like that. So I had to do that on Saturday. Wasn't even thinking that Extreme Rules was Saturday. I was like, I can't go on camera with all this equipment and stuff on to me right now, so it's just not possible for me to do. And so it comes Sunday was my son's birthday party, plus I had to work, and I was just like, my God, when am I gonna get this thing done? And of course, I wanted my team on here. I wanted Q Flow, I wanted Prime Time on here with me and stuff like that. But unfortunately, they're busy on the weekends as well. But hopefully, we'll join for the podcast. But I'm like, I got to get an Extreme Rules review up before Raw comes on Monday night. So I gotta, like I said, just do what I gotta do and do it tonight. Do it today. So it is Monday. Raw is tonight, because we're going to find out. We got a lot of things to talk about, because Bray Wyatt is back in the WWE. We find out who the White Rabbit is. Also, Edge and Finn Balor had a surprisingly good I Quit match. And of course, I was wrong on one of my predictions. And that Donnybrook match between Imperium and the Brawling Brutes was a hot match to open up the show. A great 6-man tag tornado hardcore style matchup. Okay, so we'll get right into it, because they had a pre-show. There was nobody on the pre-show. Okay, so I was like, good, we ain't got to force no match on the pre-show or anything. And then we kick off with the Donnybrook match. The Brawling Brutes are coming out. As the Brawling Brutes are coming out, we get a little thing of the White Rabbit. Like the little video game we saw on Smackdown, running through and seeing the purple X crawling through there, and then the fire coming out. So we get that. Also, then of course the Imperium comes out, and we get the match. It's tornado rules. They just start going off, and they are fighting, and they are just being wild and stuff down. They have like little barrels and shillelaghs and different things, kind of like an Irish bar type thing, all around the ring. So they quickly take out Sheamus. And then after that, they kind of focus on Ridge Holland. They give him the Imperium Bomb on the outside, which leaves Pete Dunne. And then they sat there and they start beating up Pete Dunne. And then, of course, they drape him on the turnbuckle and give him a double kick. And then so Imperium stands tall and does their little salute. But then Sheamus comes back up from the run while he's getting beat down. Takes out Giovanni Vinci, takes out Luke Vic Kaiser, and it's just him and Walter staring down. They go in there and they start fighting and beat each other up and stuff like that. But then so to come the other Brawler Bruce, they come out and they start stomping Walter out. I actually, that's one of my favorite parts of the matchup here. They start stomping him out. As stuff keeps breaking down and as the fight keeps ensuing, like I said, this is great. So we see power spots of how Ridge Holland picks up both Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser, kind of tosses him over like a double shoulder tackle type thing. And then they clear off the announce table, and fans are really eating this up because Walter is in the corner beating up, I think it's Pete Dunne, and then Sheamus comes and takes him up in like the Celtic Cross and gives him the Celtic Cross, Regis, whatever you want to call it, right through the announcer table. So meanwhile they hold up Giovanni Vinci. Sheamus gives him the bro kick, and then the Brawler Brutes win the matchup. It was a really good match. I was like, good hardcore match. Like I like 6-man tag matches, especially when you have all parties that can wrestle in them. And when it's tornado style, when it's hardcore style, if it's done right, it's really good. Like I said, because all the matches were supposed to be extreme, so that was a good way to kick off the show. So I really enjoyed that because I know after that match that Sheamus had on SmackDown that he was going they was going to need another win, because obviously I do think that you run it back at WrestleMania. Second matchup is we have Ronda Rousey taking on Liv Morgan for the SmackDown Women's Championship in an Extreme Rules matchup. I do wish that, you know, when we say Extreme Rules, that we're able to do certain other things in the matchup that label it as extreme, but obviously we can't go that far around. Like, we can't light the tables on fire. We can't have a certain amount of blow. There's certain things that we just can't do, and I do understand that. But I'm just saying, it wouldn't be nice to see that, to be on that. But here's the thing: so Ronda Rousey been whooping Liv's ass. We're getting the best of Liv Morgan. There was no way I expected Liv Morgan to come in this matchup and win, unless Charlotte was to come back or something going on with Shayna Baszler. But no, nobody came out right now. It's just basically Liv Morgan against Ronda Rousey. And honestly, Liv was showing off a bit of a fight here, but in my personal opinion, this match was my least favorite of the whole show. And Liv pulls out a table. There's this one shot here that Liv is taking this chair. She's supposed to be going off on Rousey, hitting Rousey. Those have to be the weakest chair shots I've heard. Because here's the thing: I'm not even going to sit here and say because they're women, they can't hit with the chair. Because Rhea Ripley later on that night performed a good chair shot. I've seen Bianca do good chair shots. I've seen everybody do good chair shots. But when it comes to Liv Morgan, those were not good chair shots, baby, at all. And I was like, she was like hitting Rousey, and Rousey had to sell this shit. But Liv Morgan was sitting there just, you can just hear the chair barely hitting off Ronda Rousey. I was like, this is just terrible. She sets up Ronda Rousey on the table, and then she does her top rope senton she did to Lacey Evans on SmackDown, that she did to Ronda. But Ronda, as she comes down, she catches it like some type of triangle submission hold, and Liv is trying to get out, but then she kind of like reverses it in a way where it's kind of like her thigh or her calf is like pushing up against Liv, and it's choking her out. Liv starts smiling as she passes out, and then Ronda Rousey wins the matchup. Is getting good heel heat, but then Liv's just on the ground, just sitting there like smiling, and she kind of like passed out, and Ronda steps over her. So obviously we're going to go like maybe crazy Harley Quinn, Liv Morgan style right now, because the run is over. Liv ain't getting that championship back. I'm sorry, Liv Morgan fans, she's not getting that championship back at all. Ronda's gonna keep that thing. I don't know if they're gonna go back doing Ronda and Charlotte. I hope not. I think but Ronda and Becky probably be the way to go for WrestleMania Hollywood. Just saying. Third matchup is the strap match. Karrion Kross taking on Drew McIntyre. So this was a match that Karrion Kross had to really come and show out. Here's the thing: before everybody gets on me, I like Karrion Kross, the character from NXT. I was mad that he never got a shout on the main roster under Vince, because he came out there in that fucking Ninja Turtle type gladiator shit. But I'm glad on Triple H he's going to get a chance to shine. But even Killer Kross back in Impact Wrestling, I was just never a big fan of his work. Like the character stuff, sure. Like I'm a wrestling fan, so sometimes I do love characters. But I'm saying, but also when it comes to your work, and I was never a big fan of his work, because it was like, okay, he has okay matches. He never really had a banger of a match to me, in my personal opinion. And like I said, I could be wrong, man. There's some more indie stuff I gotta see, but right now I have not been, proven wrong on that stance just yet, for my opinion, basically. But you guys be happy to post down in the comments below some Karrion Kross matches I can check out that really can showcase his work, because maybe he works in there with better or smaller guys, But Drew McIntyre's already been proven he can have great matches. But this is the strap match, and so Drew puts his strap on, and then Karrion Kross has no interest in putting on the strap. So now they start fighting. And the strap's around Drew's arm, but it's not around Karrion Kross' arm. And they start fighting. They fight to the outside. They fight out into the crowd for a little bit, and then they come back in. The match is not officially started yet, but then when they get back in the ring, Drew gets upper hand and then puts it on Karrion Kross, and now the match has started. So now these guys were, even though I may have not liked Karrion Kross's work rate, I'm telling you right now, when it comes to the slapping of the belts and stuff like that, my God, like they was giving such like hits like in the neck, in the back, across the chest. These guys were like really whipping themselves with that leather strap, and I'm telling you, they took some brutal hits like to the point where it's just like, ooh, this could be kind of uncomfortable to watch sometimes, because that's why there ain't been that many strap matches in the WWE history. My favorite is still The Rock and Triple H from Fully Loaded 1999 when they had their strap match, but it's just, my God, they was doing the whipping and stuff like that. But then as Drew McIntyre gets the upper hand, he's about to go make his move on Karrion Kross, and then Scarlett comes into the ring. And then what Scarlett does is she blinds him with pepper spray. And I was like, well, guess they didn't want to do the fireball spot here. They want to do pepper spray. And then Kross puts him in the straitjacket, and then Drew McIntyre passes out. So, me personally, the match was okay. It wasn't a terrible matchup, but it wasn't necessarily the best on the card either. I like, it'll be going, like, if I'm ranking them, it'll be Liv Morgan and Ronda, and then this matchup, me personally, of how I felt it was. But then, I'm like, I don't know, maybe this will probably lead to a steel cage and crown jewel, so it can keep Scarlett out, because Scarlett has been involved so much when it comes to Karrion Kross and stuff, so maybe that'll be the case. Who necessarily knows? But we don't know what to think for. Like, I don't know how serious Crown Jewel is going to be towards the storyline. If Crown Jewel is going to be like, we just want to put an event together, like, you know, glorified with all these thousands of people house show, or we're going to have this actually conclude with our storyline to move forward into the story that we're telling. So we don't necessarily know that just yet. Now it's time for the ladder match for the Raw Women's Championship. Bianca Belair taking on Bayley. Bayley does not come out with Damage Control. It's just Bianca Belair and Bayley. And they had a good ladder match. It wasn't a great ladder match, but it was still a good ladder match. I still want them to do more, because there were points in the matchup that we know Bianca's strong. You know what I'm saying? She has proven that. It just seemed like both of these ladies had trouble maneuvering and making the ladders do what they wanted to do. And I'm saying, like I said, Bianca strong. Bianca can carry them ladders to do what she wanted to do, something like that. But there was a rumor, I don't know if it was a rumor that was going around online, that they were saying that they were going to make the ladders only 8 and 10 feet so the women can be able to maneuver them better. But clearly that was not the case. They was dealing with some 12, 15 foot ladders here. And I was like, well, you know, and this is the first women's singles ladder match. They've had Money in the Bank match before, but this is the first women's singles ladder matchup. So we're just going to see how they did. And halfway in the matchup, Bayley has a ladder set up in the corner and does her little rolling sunset bomb to Bianca right there on there. She sets up a ladder on the outside between the barricade and the steel steps, and then she puts Bianca on there, runs off the apron, gives her an elbow. They both got the bad end of that one, because I was like, Bianca hurt on that one, and Bayley's hurt on that one. Also, Bianca, you know, showing her athleticism, trying to hop over Bayley and try to run up the ladder and then knock Bayley off the best as she can, but she, you know, Bayley keeps catching her. Meanwhile, out of nowhere, Bianca Belair hits a KOD on Bayley, and she was out the ring. I'm like, well, Bianca probably got this one, but then here comes Damage Control, and they come out there and they start beating her up, and you're thinking, well, is it going to be Alexa Bliss? Is it going to be Asuka coming out? But no Alexa Bliss, no Asuka, just Damage Control. And they put Bianca down because Io's trying to go for a moonsault, but then Dakota's trying to do a face wash, but she misses and gets caught up on the rope. So Bianca pulls up Dakota Kai to put her on the back for the KOD, and I see what she's trying to do. She's trying to get the double KOD. Io was just not working, okay, because she was trying to, Dakota trying to get her to lay on there. Like Io leg probably got caught a little bit. She was kind of rotated the wrong way, and I was just like, it's just not working. But when she finally got them both up there, she did a double KOD on both Io and Dakota Kai, which was an impressive move. It took out Damage Control. So now she tried to set up a ladder that looked like she was going to try to KOD Bayley like she did in Hell in a Cell, but Bayley grabbed the ladder as Bianca goes for a KOD. She has a ladder in her hand, and then Bianca gives her a KOD on that ladder. Bayley's jaw or face is ricocheting right off that ladder. It looked great, but you could tell, like, damn, that shit hurt. And then Bianca Belair wins the championship, retains the championship. Very over in Philly. I think that's it for Damage Control, to be honest with you. I mean, because barely lost, honestly, I've heard some ideas, people saying that Sasha and Naomi should come back, take out Io and Dakota, and replace them and make the new Damage Control. But I'm just saying, I don't know if I like that idea, but I'm just saying. But right now, Damage Control don't have really a leg to stand on right now, to be honest with you. So we gotta see what's gonna happen on Raw. But that's what that was a good ladder match. Then we get to what people could say the match of the night, because it was the most story-driven, the most overbooked match there was, and that was Edge taking on Finn Balor in an I Quit match. Philly loves Edge, so Edge came out first, and then Finn Balor came out in like this spiky mask, like it almost looked like this kind of like dominatrix mask, where you have a crazy sex type thing, but it had the mask had spikes all around. It had like one eye hole, so you could probably see it was like sheer. It was a new look with like a remix to his Demon song, I think it was. Well, the first part of this matchup was boring until they get to the outside. Then they start fighting around the arena. They get to the outside. They start going up the stairs. They're in section 111 or 110. I was like, I've been in that section plenty of times before. And as they get to the hallway, it's funny because there's these two people. There's this girl and this guy that are sitting there, and they just start fighting around them. And they're like, we don't know what to do because we just come back from going to the bathroom. But the screen had to block them off while they was out there wrestling. Edge takes Balor and throws him to the side, and then Balor kind of rolls towards the steps. Edge about to go for a spear, like to spear him down the steps, but Balor gets out the way. He hits his balls right there on the railing. So then that's what says Edge and them back down to the ring. Of course, if you're into mouth breathing, you're going to hear the referee say, "You want to quit?" No. Yeah, that's why it was a lot of I Quit matches. He just keeps sticking the mic to their face like every time they do a move. I'm just like, maybe y'all should wait till obviously like a lot of damage has happened. Like, I don't need to be after a hip toss. You talk about stuff. Do you quit? I'm sitting there like, no, like all in the mic. I don't think I need to be doing all that. So they get back in the ring, and as Edge gets the advantage, here comes Judgment Day. They come out to the ring. It's Priest, Rhea, and Dom. And they all come out to the ring and Edge try to fight them off. But then Rhea has handcuffs and he handcuffs Edge. Now Edge is handcuffing, and then you start seeing Judgment Day behind him. So it's Priest, Balor, and Dominic Mysterio. And they sitting there and they're just beating down Edge. And then here comes Rey Mysterio. He comes out and he's trying to help him out. But then Dominic starts hitting on Mysterio. Michael Cole on commentary is selling this like crazy because he is going off and he is getting pissed. Like, somebody come out here and help Edge. Edge, no, I'll think less of you if you quit. And Dominic Swing to slap that kid. That's your old father. He was really going off. I love the emotion. I love the emotion in it. Then here comes Beth Phoenix. Beth Phoenix is in there, takes out Rhea Ripley, gets the key, and I was like, okay, she uncuffs Edge. So Edge hits Balor with 3 vicious spears, and the referee's going to ask if he's and he puts back in his execute submission move. If I got it, that goes how it's pronounced. Excuse me. And then all of a sudden, Rhea Ripley comes and hits Beth Phoenix in the back of the head, but she's out cold, and then she reveals that she hit her with some brass knucks. So now she's out cold. Edge, Dave Priest and Dom Mysterio hold Edge down while Finn Balor gives him 3 coup de grace, and he asks him if he quit. And Edge says, "Go to hell." But then Rhea's like, "All right." So she goes in there and then puts Beth's head under the chair, and then is going to give her a concerto and threaten to give her a concerto because she's unconscious. She got hit with brass knucks. She can't move. And then Edge finally says, "I quit. So then the match is over. Finn Balor wins the match after Edge quits. But then Rhea's just like, "Cool, you quit, but I'm gonna do it anyway." And gives Beth Phoenix the concerto anyway. Great heel heat for the Judgment Day. I'm telling you, the Vince McMahon version of Judgment Day and the Triple H version of Judgment Day has been night and day. I'm dead serious. That is one thing. I'm like, you know what? I am happy that the Judgment Day is finally, getting some good heel heat, because they it was pissing me off because I'm a huge Beth Phoenix fan. And I was just like, oh my God, Beth, she was doing a great job, son. Like her fingers were all contorted and stuff like that. She was doing great. And Edge was sitting there like all panic and everything like that. So maybe at Crown Jewel we get a mixed tag match because this story's far from over because it obviously has to go. Mysterio has to get. We had to get to Dominic Mysterio. It has to be Mysterio versus Dom, and it has to be at WrestleMania. That's what it has to be at. So that was that. But now it's main event time. It is time for the fight pit. Seth Rollins taking on Matt Riddle. Daniel Cormier comes out there. First of all, here's the thing. So me and my wife were watching this, right? And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, why did I just think like Daniel Cormier was like fighting yesterday? Because he came out like dead by and all that. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself like, damn, he been retired that long? Like cause I don't pay attention to UFC or MMA like that all the time. So I was just like, oh, I didn't know. I didn't know. Seth Rollins, because we in Philly and ECW, he comes out with the RVD gear on. So I was like, okay, RVD, I'm feeling that. RVD is one of my favorites as well. So then we get to the fight pit, has the landing on top. I thought Daniel Cormier was going to be at the top and let them fight in the pit, be honest with you. But no, he just kept the referee down there. Throughout the match, Riddle runs up the side of the cage, gives Rollins a kick. There's a point where Riddle elbows Cormier when he's beating on Seth. Then Cormier throws Riddle off and says, hey, I'm the referee. You focus on, you hit him, you don't hit me. He said the same thing to Rollins as well. So, the matchup was pretty good for somebody to get in there. Then finally, Rollins climbs like to the top, but not all the way to the top. And there's a twisting 5-star frog splash in his way on the Riddle. I thought that was cool as well. Then finally, we gonna get to the spot where they get to the top. They get to the top of where the landing is at, and Rollins goes and hits like a buckle bomb to Riddle on top of, because they on top of the land they have other cage panels, and he throws him into the cage panel. Then he tries to go for a curb stomp, but Riddle reverses and hits him with a pedigree. No, I'm sorry. And then he hits Riddle with the pedigree on top of there. Then when he goes for the curb stomp, Riddle kind of reverses it and hits him with an RKO, and then Rollins rolls off the top. So usually when this happens, I say he's gonna go for the he in NXT he did the floating bro on Timothy Thatcher, but this one he did a broton off the top. This looked painful because it looked like he slipped. Because it looked like he didn't get enough air on there, or if he didn't really want to go for that, or maybe the fight pit on the main roster is higher than it is when it comes to the NXT roster. Who knows? But he does a falling bro. I mean, he does a broton off of it and falls right down on it, and it looked like Riddle hurt his tailbone. Rollins, he could have had some broken ribs, and he was down. Like he was saying he was hurt. I was like, oh, are they really hurt? But then Riddle puts him like a triangle choke, but Rollins picks him up and it stands across the cage. He tries to send down the power bomb, but he still has him. And then all of a sudden, Rollins taps out. I was like, that end just seemed to come out of nowhere. To be honest with you, I was like, really? That's how we're going to end this thing? Okay, but it just came out of nowhere. So as we're doing this, I'm just sitting there like, okay, y'all. So are we doing the Triple H thing here, or what's going on? Because everybody was, even at the beginning of the match, everybody was chanting, "We want Wyatt." As Riddle's out the ring and then he's getting his arm raised, you got the little copyright thing in the corner, and then of course everything goes dark. Now everybody's going cheering, and everybody got their cell phone lights out, and then of course you hear a familiar voice come up there and say, "He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands." So he has that, and then all of a sudden you see a spotlight point to somewhere in the crowd, and you see this Huskus the Pig, somebody in a Huskus the Pig costume. Then the light goes off. Then they go to another part of the arena, and then there is this Mercy the Buzzard. It's somebody in a Mercy the Buzzard costume, and then the light goes off. And then you come around, and at the bottom, you see Abby the Witch. And she has this Luke Harper Bludgeon Brother mask on underneath the veil. And then the lights go off again. Then you go and you see on the announce table was like the burnt Bray Wyatt Fiend mask on there. And Michael's like, I'm out of here. Okay, this is like some really creepy stuff. And then it goes back to somewhere on the floor to what it was about. Then you see the Fiend. And everybody starts cheering, but it's not Bray. You tell everybody it's not Bray. So then they show this doorway. And then you get like this little TV crackling. And it shows like flash of this kind of crazy kind of mask. And then you go back to the Firefly Funhouse and you start hearing the kind of like the distorted Firefly Funhouse music. Everything is dead and dreamy, falling off the things. All the puppets are covered in spider webs and everything like that. And all of a sudden you see the door comes open. And it has this glow that came through. This was the same glow that Brody Lee had in his debut at AEW. And then all of a sudden you see the lantern and you see Bray Wyatt walk through, but he has this mask on similar to the mask that if anybody seen the movie Black Phone, which was Ethan Hawke that came out earlier this year, it's a horror movie, and I'm telling y'all that that's a pretty good movie. Y'all might want to check that movie out. So he comes out with that kind of mask, and I mean Philly was hot for this guy, and it was just chanting, holy shit, like it was so loud that when Bray took off the mask and it got even louder, he said something in the microphone, he said something in the screen which nobody could hear at home, and I guarantee nobody could hear there. And then he blew out the lantern, and that's how it went off. Excellent ending to the show. Excellent. When it comes to Extreme Rules, man, it gets a thumbs up from me. Like I said, obviously, could things have been better? Yeah, I would have loved for the last match to be a little bit better, but it was still a good match. I Quit match surprised me. The fight pad, it could have went maybe a little bit longer, but I had a more I seen a finish coming type thing. The Edge thing, you could have, because Edge got to do his 30-minute classics. You know, Edge got to do his 30-minute classics. You could have shaved 10 minutes off. Just to be completely honest with you. And then when it came, like, the strap match could have been better. And no matter what you did with Liv and Ronda, it is what it is. But it's still a thumbs up, and the Dynamite match was really good. So still a thumbs up. So it was a good show. So sorry for the lateness, but post your comments down below. How you guys feel about Extreme Rules? I will be back tonight for Monday Night Raw review. Hopefully you guys see that tomorrow morning, along with the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast. Hopefully with the team there, we got a lot to talk about when it comes to the podcast. So we gotta get all that stuff out the way. So once again, this is NC, the place to be. Chill Train Mr. A&D, and the Nerd Coalition is out.